my veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capping space. I won't stop till I hear him say,
Woo! I kind of like that. It got me bopping in my seat. Woo! Hey now. Milan, welcome to Milan from Put a Ring on It. She is in the house, guys. What's up?
Hey, how you guys doing?
We're doing great. Glad to have you. And put a ring on it. We're going to talk about that, of course. But we're going to talk about your DJ career and your life and everything like that, to introduce you to our, YouTube family and our Instagram family. And I'm sure everybody will love you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So the first thing we want to know about actually is, we got a lot of questions to ask you, Milan, but the important question is this. Can I see that back tattoo?
Oh my
You know what? She does not have a. You know what? I tell you, these older men, Milan, these older men, they are a mess. They are a mess. I'm telling you.
Oh my! I loved it. I just loved it. Oh my goodness!
I bet you did.
I loved it.
Milan is clearly young and beautiful and free. She is exciting. She is a career woman.
That's why I want to see the tattoo.
I'm gonna let you get into it with her, but you're gonna have to move on from that tattoo.
Okay.
When I was 18 years old, so that was a minute ago. But you know what? I love it because you can't really tell I have tattoos from the front, and then
right there you go. Yep. So
to me,
right, excellent. But let me ask you, Milan. Let's start out here then. Where were you born and raised, and what was your upbringing like?
Yeah, so I was born in Los Angeles, California. I was raised actually in Decatur, Georgia. So my upbringing was more so of, I was raised in a single parent home, but my father was always there. We just didn't live together. My mother did real estate. My father was a football agent. So I was more so always raised up under entrepreneurs, So my mom and my dad always were busy, working, traveling. The high school I went to was really big as far as being a part of the sports. So I was a dancing diva in high school. So actually my high school was the band that was on, what's the movie called? Drumline. So that was, yeah, so I was like the dancing diva. So I played the role that Nick Cannon's girlfriend did in high school. So that was cool. The community I'm from, we're very close knitted. Everybody still hangs out and talks to this day. I'm 30 years old, so I've been in high school for 12, 13 years. Jeez, time flies. So yeah.
Any siblings?
I have a sister. I have one sister. I have a brother, but we're not really too close. But I have a sister. We're like best friends. We're 14 months apart.
Oh, really? Who's older?
She's older.
Oh, okay. Well,
is that what they call Irish twins or something like that?
Yep.
No, Irish twins. You guys must drink a lot. Is that what it is?
No.
Oh Lord, he doesn't know these cultural things.
I don't know where that term came from.
Oh my goodness! But what was the best thing that you can remember from your childhood, as far as one of your best memories from childhood, the good memories?
I think all of my good memories were like going to Alabama to my grandmother's house, like the whole family, just having family vibes, or going to California to my other grandma's house. So just like being around my family was just the best times that I had, because I felt like I could be myself and just be with the people who I know love me.
Right. How'd you get bit with the music bug? Did that come early or did that come later in life?
So it came actually later. I've always loved music, but I went to school actually for journalism and broadcasting. Didn't really know that I wanted to get into music, but a lot of my friends from high school were in the music industry. A lot of them actually are popular rappers now, popular artists now. But I've always loved music, so I'm gonna tell you guys a story. You guys know that song, "Make It Rain," Trick, make it rain.
Yeah, I know
Oh
it.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, boom. So the girl who sings that part actually was her when I was 21, 22. I wanted to like start managing my friends because everybody around me was doing music. So I kind of put that whole little piece together with her getting a check with Travis Porter. So that was cool, starting point in my music journey. So
Wow.
from there, I wanted to start managing other artists, but it's a lot of work, especially when the artists don't want it for themselves. You got to push them, and I wasn't really the one to keep pushing them. So I started bartending, and then bartending just being in the club scene, being around a lot of people, boom, 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 getting to know the DJ, and I realized like I can do this. So I tried DJing, and when I tried it, I'm telling you guys, it took me a month and a half to get my first gig, and I just quit bartending, and it's been DJing ever since.
A month and a half. That's pretty fast for someone who was a novice at DJing. How'd you get a gig so quick?
Just being a bartender, knowing people. So I think it was more so of a challenge for me of telling this person, like, I can do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can actually do this. Like, just give me a shot, give me one shot. So I went in my room and practiced every day, every single day. Closed my door, locked myself in the room for hours and just practiced. And my first gig, it was cool. It was fun. And then from there, I just kept going. I quit my job 2 months later, and DJing ever since.
Now, where did you get the I guess the inspiration? Because sometimes before we go into an industry, we got to see people that look like us or whatever. There's not a whole lot of women DJs around. I grew up with Spinderella from Salt and Pepper and stuff like that, but that was still, one in how many? Okay.
Yeah.
So who did you look at and say, I want to be like them? Because there were no other women around.
Well, it's actually a lot of female DJs around. It's a lot around. I actually have an event I do called Boobs and Beats where I bring out female DJs from across the country and we all have like a big party and just DJ. But I didn't really look at it being a female DJ when I first started. I just looked at it being a DJ. And that's still how I look at it, just being a DJ. There are plenty of women who can DJ, plenty of men who can DJ, but I kind of get something different from each person. So like you got the EDM crowd, you have like Diplo, you got Calvin Harris, which I love the energy, Steve Aoki, they have really good energy, and I love the music. I love how the music makes you feel like that EDM, the bass. And then you have the hip hop, so you have like people like Jazzy Jeff who I look at, Chanel who I look at. So it's just like each person brings something different to me, and they give me something different.
Wow. And we're going to talk more about your DJ career and where you're going later on in the podcast. But I want to ask you now, as far as when did you first, you're 30-year-old woman, you're still very young. But when did you first feel that love bug? Were you 16, 17? And what was that like for you?
That's a good question. The real love or like the puppy love?
I guess the real love, because it hurts more when it ends, I guess.
Yeah. So I would say when I was around 23, 22, but I would count that just because I'm out of high school and I'm a little bit older, but that was like the little in between phase. So when I'm 27, I'm finding love for real. So that's
okay.
First like heartbreak was at 28, 29.
Wow.
29.
That was the heartbreak.
That was the first big heartbreak as an adult.
How long did the relationship last?
Like a year and a half.
A year and a half. Mm-hmm. Not very long, but when you're in pain, that's a long time.
Not very long, but yeah, when you're in pain, the pain lasts for forever, right?
Right. So in that year and a half, because a lot of times we're in stuff and we know at a certain point, okay, we're just not going to make it, but we don't leave at that moment. We always wait it out to see if it's going to get better. So in that year and a half, when did you first start to say, I don't think we're going to make it, but I love them, I'm going to try to hang in there?
I mean, the whole year and a half was a mess, to be honest. Like from the beginning of the relationship to the end, like I had that feeling the whole time because it was just a very bad relationship that I was in. I would say the first 6 months were beautiful, and after that, it just went downhill. So just me being the type of person I am, I always see the good in people, and I always want better for people. So I tried to wait it out because I wanted to see back what we had the first 6 months, I wanted that back.
Right.
And I couldn't get that back because that's not who he was. He was acting for me to pull me, reel me in, and he got me. And then when we got into this relationship, it just went. This man was horrible. Okay, so just getting out of the relationship was forceful, and I think God made us break up, because if God didn't do what he do to kind of open my eyes, I would have still been in that relationship and still been getting dragged and just treated like crap.
Yeah, these representatives, man, they're a hot mess. So, and the thing about these representatives, right? You meet them in the beginning, they're a certain way, and you fall in love with that person, and then they change, right? And you go, well, I'm gonna wait. He probably going through something, or she's going through something, so I'm gonna wait for the real person to come back. No, this is the real person. The person in the beginning. You know what I mean? The person for the first 6-7 months or a year was the fake person.
Yeah.
So we'll wait forever for the real person to come back, and no, this is the real person. So we get stuck. So, but how long did it take you to kind of get over that heartache when you knew, okay, I'm healed?
Yeah.
I can look at him now and not be bothered. I can hear his name and not be bothered. How long did that take?
It took me a good year. So the whole 2020, I was so going through. I would wake up, just cry one day. Some days I have good days, some days would be bad days, So the whole 2020 was just like up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. 2021 is where I really started to completely heal and completely like move forward and know my worth and actually know, like, girl, thank you for not going back or being in that situation no more. 2020, I was questioning myself, like, why? But 2021, I was firm. I had gained my self-esteem back, my confidence back. I gained back who I was, and I gained my strength back. So I would say it took me a whole year to completely heal.
Yeah. That's usually about right, or maybe even more. It depends. I've been married twice, and I got children and grandchildren, and there's just some painful stuff to have a family broken up. It's one thing to leave a person or they leave you or whatever, but then when there's children involved, there's a home involved.
We ain't have all that now.
Yeah.
I was able to go.
I hear you. So Aubrey, before we get to put a ring on it, do you have any questions for Milan going into this?
No, go ahead. I'm handling something out in the chat, so go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, Milan. So after that heartache, and it took you a year to heal, how did you hear about Ring on It, and how did you end up there? What made you want to go there?
So the casting director actually hit my DM up. This was in September 2021, I think September or the end of August. It had to be September. Yeah, around September, August. They hit me up. I get a lot of people in my DMs, period, about casting, about just a lot of stuff. So I really wasn't too much interested. But at that time, I was interested because I felt like I had finally healed. I was able to just meet new people, get back on the dating scene, and just kind of, revamp myself. So they reached out to me, and I just thought it was an opportunity that I would love to do, and I took the opportunity. And now,
what were your expectations? To generate more visibility? Just looking to see what happened, just being exploratory. What was it for you?
So for me, it was actually just to meet, maybe, like, I'm an optimistic person. So I was like, I've been dating on the dating scene for a minute, I've been out of a relationship. So what if I do actually meet somebody on here? And also it was to be visible, to actually show myself to the world. But I wanted to show myself to the world while also doing that process. So it was there and it came, it was what it was, but clearly it didn't.
Yeah, because it's kind of awkward. People on there to repair their relationships, but they're going on dates. So it's kind of an awkward type thing. So but you
stay in the real world. So it's like we just put it on Front Street now.
Right.
Thank you, Milan. That's a very good point, actually, because in real life, people are out dating while still married. Some of them trying to hide it and not really separated or divorced. And some, like in the situation with Otis and Charlana, apparently, claim to be repairing their relationship, but Otis is just out looking to devour, if you will.
Facts.
Yeah, right. So you got stuck with going out with Otis. Your initial thoughts when you saw him, what were your initial thoughts about him when you saw him, just on a physical level?
He was of course, an attractive guy to the world, but I wasn't really too. I'm more of a sapiosexual, so I need more intellect. Like you could be fine all day, but that don't really get you too far with me.
Right.
Wait a minute, hold on. I got to give you some applause on that. Yay!
Yeah, so you could be fine all day, every day. But I've talked to fine men, talked to men who are not attractive. Like it's just about who you are. Like what else are you giving me besides your looks?
Right.
So I didn't fall for the looks.
Oh, okay. So you guys' first date was it the horse ranch?
Horseback riding, yep.
Horseback riding. Okay. So what was that day like going horseback riding with him? Did he seem like a natural, or did he seem like he was out of his element, or what?
He just seemed very like guarded the whole time. Like he seemed like he didn't want to give too much or show too much interest. So I was still trying to read him. It was hard.
Mm-hmm.
Hard reading him because he had this guard built up. So I was trying to help him let loose. And then we were drinking wine on the date. So I think the wine was kind of letting him let loose a little bit. We needed that because he was kind of uptight.
Yeah, they feed you guys a lot of wine on these shows.
And no food, because did you guys actually have anything to eat on this date?
Yeah, wine.
Just wine. Yes. So these producers really know what the hell they're doing, don't they?
No.
Wine, all kinds of wine, and
there she go
on the stomach. Yeah, have your wine. But see, I'm just thinking about. And so, Otis, I want to ask you something. I'm going to slow down a little bit and take this a little slower. Okay, so in hindsight, Milan, do you feel that Otis was maybe, I know you said he was kind of tight, he was kind of, guarded. But do you think that maybe is it possible that could seem like that was just an act? Like he doesn't want to get busted. He doesn't want to say anything, the wrong thing on camera. But based on the text messages and the DMs that he sent you, I mean, he was clearly just talking a lot of smack. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that he wanted to portray an image when the cameras are being on, because of course, like if you guys read the DMs, he said something like, "Oh, the cameras were there. Like if the cameras weren't there, I would have, did this or did that," whatever he said. But I think the cameras did bother him. I think that it was a lot more to him if the cameras weren't there. So I think I was more so trying to get that out of him, especially going on our second date, the yoga date. Like I wanted him to actually let loose, like get to know somebody, meet somebody new, like open up and meet somebody new and let loose, or whatever you're going through at home. Like this is the reason why I'm here, for you to kind of to test it and see if what you're going through at home is worth going back to. So I think that he was guarded on the camera, but outside the camera, he just let it hang all.
Really?
Like it was like this person right here, and then this person right here.
Well, since you went there, at what point, because you're dating, I think you guys had 2 dates, right? Was it 2 dates altogether? What was the second date? What was that date?
Second day we did yoga.
That's the one where you saw our tattoo.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, I was never really attracted to Otis, so I mean, like I said before, like on the show, I was really feeding him because I wanted a second episode. Like I wanted to, go on a second date because, of course, like I wanted to get some more camera time from him. And that was like the main thing that I was feeding into. So going on the second date, we had already met outside of the show prior to the second date. So when I saw him on the second day, we kind of knew each other a little bit more. And I was able to like tell him, like, bro, just let your guard down, relax some, like chill. Like you on camera, I understand, but just relax. Like you're this person one day and then you're this person the next day. So it was just, I felt like I was pulling teeth trying to have a conversation with him or get to actually enjoy him on camera.
So at what point did you, because a lot of stuff happens off camera that the viewers don't see, okay? But you're there, you're living this thing every time you're on set. So at what point did you start to realize, okay, this is a shady guy here. This is not going to go anywhere because he's pretty shady. What did he do or what did he say that triggered that for you?
Yeah, I realized that the when he texted me as soon as the first date was over, like I realized that because first of all, you don't know me for real. You really don't know me, and you're actually in a real relationship. At that point, that's what I thought he was in a real relationship at that point. So that's when I was like, okay, this dude is kind of shady. And then when we met up in the parking lot, he tells me that him and Charlena was just doing this shit. I'm sorry, I curse. I'm not cursing here.
You're fine.
But they said they were just doing it for the show. Like they were just, she hit him up. They had dated a few years back, and she hit him up and was like, "Hey, you want to do this show? I got called for this show. I need, a spouse to do it with me. Do you want to do it?" So
Mm-hmm.
that's what he told me. So when
Mm,
we're going on to the second date, that's already in my mind. Like, oh, they're just friends. So they're just actually, they got a plan together, and that's what they're doing. So that's kind of why I wanted him to let loose a little bit more, because I'm like, bro, if you're just doing this for the show, like you could actually really let loose for real. Because when these cameras are off, y'all not really together, but they
mm.
were.
So if that's the case, and you're finding this out, when you really found out that they apparently are really trying to make a go of it, did you feel like they was playing games with you the whole time, or it just didn't matter at that point?
It didn't matter to me because, like I said, I was never attracted to Otis. I just fed into it so I can have another episode and have more, shine on the show for myself.
Right.
Like I honestly didn't care. I really didn't.
Did you try to ever share any of these? Did he do DMs and direct text messages to your phone? Did he do both?
Yeah, he did both.
So you had your actual phone number as well.
Yes.
So did you ever actually try to show these to Charlana at all, or speak to her woman to woman?
Yeah. So what happened was she sent me a DM and was like, Otis, did Otis DM you? And I said yes to her because in my head I'm thinking like they're friends and maybe she's trying to tell me something that I need to know that he's what he's saying about me. So I was like, yeah, he DM'd me. So she was like, well, he had nothing nice to say about you today during filming. And I said, oh, wow, he had nothing nice to say about you either. But like I said, in my head, I'm thinking like she's coming to me like, girl, I got your back. Let me tell you, he said this about you. And I'm like, girl, he said this about you too. So, he's really the trash, slimy person. We're kind of coming together on this one. But that wasn't her intentions. Her intentions was to tell me like, girl, she was really, her intentions were to be mean and to kind of start something with me. So
Right.
she was like, girl, your 15 minutes of fame is up and he's not going on the third date with you. I honestly didn't care. But, it was just like she came at me a certain type of way when she should have been coming at her man, checking her.
Is this when it clicked for you to save some of this stuff because you knew he gonna lie?
I had saved it
So
before because I already knew how kind of man he was.
yeah,
Because
because
when
that'll click to save it. Sorry, Orby, go ahead.
oh no,
Yeah, I want to go back. I want to kind of go back a little bit because I'm just listening and I'm just trying to catch up with you guys. So how did you guys what led up to you guys meeting outside of the show? Can you talk about that a little bit, Milan, if that's okay?
yeah. So he had been trying to see me from, I guess, let's say like a week since we had met on the horseback riding. So it was like our times weren't clicking up.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, we went to high school together. Well, not the same at the same time, but went to the same high school. So
Okay.
same area. We were familiar with that area. So he wanted to meet up with me because he didn't want to talk about what he wanted to talk about over the phone. He wanted to actually see me in person. So I said,
Mm-hmm.
okay, cool. Meet me here at this Kroger by the house. So he said, okay, cool. So that's where we met up because he had just left his parents' house. So we met up at the Kroger's and he kind of just talked to me about, the show and how it's interfering with him and Charlie. And he was kind of venting to me. And
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, I wanted to actually see you, I like your energy, blah, blah, blah. I was just like, okay. So that's what the whole meetup was about.
Okay.
There was a
Well,
scene in the car, which I'm sorry, Orby.
I
There was
want
a
I
scene.
want to I'm going to need to do a few follow-ups, Alex.
Okay, go ahead. Do your thing.
Oh, okay, thank you. Okay, so now And we should have probably preempted, our conversation with you with this, because Alex and I, we run a very safe, tight ship here, right? But now, people are curious, so I want to ask some questions because you've done a few interviews already, right?
Yes.
Um, but I want to ask some questions that kind of get to the crux of, like, once you say one thing, then that leads people to wonder about the next thing. And so, of course, the thing that a lot of us are wondering is, why meet up with this guy? If you kind of had a sense that he was maybe a player, he wasn't a good guy, he wasn't telling you the truth about whether he was really in a relationship with this woman who, probably maybe even at that very moment was pregnant with his child. Why meet up with him? I just want to understand that.
No, it's completely understandable. I think at the time I was more so just curious of what he had to tell me, because the way he was making it seem was like, I can't text it to you, I can't talk about this. Like, I need to tell you something. And I'm like, okay, well, shoot, I'm right here. Like, if you're down the street, the same area, like, we could meet
Hmm.
here. So I think it was just more of just being curious of what do you want to tell me? What's so important that you want to tell me? Is it about
Okay.
show, like something that they're not telling me, or what really is it? And I think also it was me just
Okay.
being bored, and just like keep opening that door to keep reeling him in, because I had a plan. Clearly my plan was to like the whole situation was to see if you were really ready to propose, or did you want to continue to keep dating. So I think
Hmm.
the door was open. I had opened that door for him to see if he wanted to keep dating or not.
Mhm.
Ah, okay. Okay. You know what? And that all makes perfect sense. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, I
Thank you,
wanted to
Milan.
add. Yeah, there was a scene in the car where the issue of kissing came up, and he's like, you said something about, what if I kissed you? And he said, you can try, and whatever the case is. Was there any other potential physical discussions that went on after that, or did he discuss that off camera at all?
No, well, I mean, as you could see in the text message, if you read the text messages, he did want to kiss me, and
Hmm.
I don't even like kissing if I'm not dating, or if we're just meeting up. But it was, yeah, and I mean everything was really more so in the text messages, like all of the him wanting to hang out and cuddle and be around me and all this stuff. But I mean, the comment I made was more so just to intrigue the audience, and to see, like, is he gonna fall for it? Is he gonna fall for it? Let me just keep throwing these little shots to see if he'll fall for it.
Mm.
On
Cuddling,
Because off camera, he was falling for all of it.
cuddling.
Mm.
He wanted to cuddle.
Yes,
Oh, he wanted to do more than that. Okay, and I'm gonna again a little break right here, everybody. If you're watching, actually, Aubrey, you're watching this interview. I did not do the text messages because my sister Chloe Johnson, who Milan graciously interviewed with on Sunday, has a video with all the text messages and all the stuff in it. Is that right, Milan? Am I right?
yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so not to take anything away from her. So you guys check her video out as well, and you'll see the trail. There's actual evidence of the trail of these DMs and these text messages that Otis was sending her. And it's very clear that, like she says, she caught these text messages. Had she not caught them, because right after that, he deleted them. So that's why Charlana was saying things like, well, I never saw that. Oh, that wasn't in the text messages that I read. Because, of course, a guy that's a cheater and a player, he got skills. He
Right.
got skills like, like he a gourmet chef. He got skills on the player field. So okay.
Yeah, but a real player don't leave a written document.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? So they don't do that. So, but Milan, I think that a lot of times women don't want to see the red flags, or don't want to see what's actually right in front of their face.
Yeah.
So, what do you think it is that's, because you've been hurt before, been in a long-term relationship. What do you think from your mind was blocking Charlana from actually seeing the truth?
Yeah, I think that you can be blinded by love. So I think that it was just, she's must have a history. I mean, we all know what it is. You can be blinded by love. I think that's just as simple as said.
Yeah, especially if she was pregnant during the show. If she was pregnant during the filming, than she may have been when you guys were already dating. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. So I think it was just blinded by love. Like I've been there before. I'm sure we've all been there before.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I want to go back. I want to take you back to you're on set now and you're at the reunion, right? So this is
Yeah.
another thing that kind of stands out. So you're at the reunion and now it's your turn to talk, and and they're talking to you. And first of all, if you could tell me this, I want to know this. How did you manage to get your phone out there on the set? Because my understanding is that everybody had to give them their phone before they walked out on the set. So what did you do? Stick it in your, somewhere. What did you do? You gotta tell us.
I had a plan, and the plan worked. Okay.
Okay. You don't have to tell all. Okay, I feel you, girls. Like I was telling Alex, you know what? When a woman's got to do what a woman's got to do, it will get done.
Yeah, and it worked, and I just had to let it be known, because I mean, if not, what was I going to have to stand on?
Right. Okay, but my next question. Okay, so now you're out there. You got the phone. And you kind of shooting your shot to let Charlana know, let the world know what really happened, and us viewers too. And thank you for that, because other than that, it looked like Egypt wanted us to have the most boring reunion ever. Okay, but what I want to know is, okay, so now I'm watching it as a viewer, but I want to know for you to tell us. She's interrupting you. She's stopping you. Otis is saying that's enough, and all this stuff is going on. And Charlana saying, oh, no, that's not true. You're lying. And I see all these people. So basically 3 people with Charlana, Otis, and Egypt kind of snapping at you and trying to contain you. How are you feeling in this moment if you're back on that stage?
Yeah, I was feeling just overwhelmed. I was feeling upset. I was feeling alone. Like I was feeling like a little crazy, because I'm like, damn, nobody's believing what I'm saying, and Egypt's trying to shut me down.
Mm-hmm.
Try to get my phone to Egypt to let her read the messages. I'm like, okay, at this point, nobody wants to listen. So really, let me exit stage left. But I decided to just sit there and stay, because I'm like,
I'm glad you did.
I signed up for this. So that's why when you see the show, I'm like, y'all are delusional, because at this point, I'm like, I know I'm not tripping, and I'm a real person, okay? So you can't really you can't fool me. So with her saying, I don't believe you, the Otis is like, no, that's not true. I'm like, what the you're fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Go ahead, get them crazy words out, girl. I don't normally but you know what? But I'm gonna tell you something, because I'm gonna tell you another thing that I noticed. So I worked in mental health. So Otis was gaslighting you.
Yeah.
And Egypt was trying very hard to gaslight you. That's what I saw as a viewer. And as someone who's worked in the mental health field professionally, okay?
Yeah.
They were trying to gaslight you because, and it was also subtle in some ways and not so subtle in others, because Egypt was saying to you, well, okay, well, you say you've got these text messages. It's basically a case of he says, she says. No, it's not a case of he says, she says, because you actually had these text messages, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now, I mean, call a thing a thing. He's a liar and he's a cheat,
Right.
but I don't understand for what purpose or this particular show and the production company wants to make the men come out looking so squeaky clean, and the women look like they're crazed or they're delusional or they're emasculating, when it's not emasculating, for one, to tell the truth. And I know that's not your segment. I'm talking about the Kenneth and the Shorty thing.
Right,
okay.
Right.
But yeah, but I just want to say I applaud you. I'm glad you stayed there. You did not exit, because that's the kind of thing they want you to do. And then the viewer starts to look at that person that ran off like, oh, well, they ran off. They must have been lying. We would have looked at you differently. So I'm glad you stood there and you had the courage to do that. I applaud you.
Yeah, well, because what happens a lot of times is, guys like Otis and, players or whatever. Not saying I ever was.
Oh, my Lord. This interview is about to be cut short as he gets struck down by lightning. So it'll just be you and I, sweetheart.
The subject for these men right now.
But what these guys do is they'll feed information to, the main girl. They feed information to the other women or whatever the case may be. And then when these women finally meet up or it comes to a head, if you notice, Otis was sitting back there. He was just smirking. Because
I wanted to pop him in the head with something. Ooh.
hollered.
because he wanted we want to see the women fighting over us.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And and when you got somebody who don't believe the other woman, but you really know she knows what she's talking about, that's like really, so to a guy who's a player or manipulator, he's like, yeah, I got her. You know what I mean? So that kind of thing. But having said that, how do you feel the narrative for Milan was created throughout the show, the short time you were there and through the reunion, as Egypt kept cutting you off, she kept dropping the ball. How do you think the narrative was created? They were trying to create a story, or did they want the truth?
Because I only went on 2 dates with him. I think the other girl, she did 3 dates. So I was actually surprised that they called me back. But I think the story started when he admitted those DMs. So I think before that, and even on the second episode when me and Charlena and him and her, well, we all went on a double date. You can tell that Charlie was somewhat has some type of pressure with me, like the comments she was saying that I look very young and that I'm his daughter and this and that. Like, you could tell it was some type of like pressure. So I'm sure the producers were trying to manipulate the situation to add a little bit more to it. So then also when she did find the DMs, that created a bigger story right there.
No, did she find him, or because he said on the air, I DM'd her. He
I
actually
think
said that.
it's on air. He said that I think like 2 episodes after she had hit me up about finding the DMs.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Yep, I think
So is
the night
I'm sorry.
she hit me up, I think right after our yoga date. On Instagram, she hit me up.
So what I was going to say, I didn't mean to cut you off, Milan, sorry about that. But what I was going to say was that it sounds like basically she found some information and then he tried to come off as the hero and as the honest guy, as he tells us, as we see it as viewers, we see it in the counseling session after the fact. So once again, manipulating.
Well, that's what I said. That's what players do. That's old game.
Facts. And then when she hit me up about the DMs, I went back to our DMs, and it was a lot of stuff missing. So it was a lot of stuff missing. So that's why I'm glad that I did record those DMs, because he took out a lot of stuff. So like when she was saying like at the reunion, she was like, I didn't see that. Like, I know you didn't, because he deleted it.
And DMs are not like regular text message to your phone. You can go back and delete a DM.
Yes.
But a regular text message to someone else's phone, you have no control over that.
Exactly.
So there was any opportunity to try to get those to her, or was she just not interested?
I wasn't even interested in trying, and the way she came at me, it was like, okay, girl, I feel you, girl. Listen to your man. I've been there before.
You know what? You know what's interesting, Milan? After what you've been through, okay, the year and a half with this guy, then the additional year of dealing with healing and so forth, you go on the show, you're dealing with this kind of shadiness from this guy who's trying to cheat and so forth. In your mind, because Aubrey always says the dating pool has pee and poop in it. Okay. So in your mind, have you lost hope? Is there anything out there?
I'm actually dating right now. I'm in a relationship right now. So
okay.
Yeah.
How long?
It's actually fresh. It's been about a good month so far.
Oh, okay.
Very fresh.
Very fresh. Okay. So you see this as a serious thing, probably moving forward, even though it's only a month,
Yeah.
But Alex.
Well, I'm just asking.
I mean,
if you feel comfortable answering, Milan.
But we've been friends for a minute though, so it's turned into something else. So
right,
a longevity.
Yeah, well, we wish you luck with that. There's no question about it. It's just difficult out here. It's very difficult out here.
I'm happy because it ain't nothing out there. So I'm very happy, and I feel like I got a good one.
Okay. All right,
okay.
Now. That's important.
Yeah, and I can see the red flags because I've been through it, So it's like I pointed out all these red flags to all these men I've been dating since the breakup, even before the breakup. So it's like now the guy I'm dating now, it's like, thank you, God, thank you.
Well, stay away from the hobosexual.
I
Okay.
trust me.
You what?
Trust me, the hobosexuals and the no car sexuals.
She's got a great sense of humor. I love it, Milan. I love it.
the no car sexuals. Okay. That's a new one. All right.
Yeah, that's pretty good though. That's pretty good.
I mean, you got to stay away from these type of guys, as we know what Shorty and Kenny went through, and all this kind of stuff. So, but now that the show is kind of not totally past you yet, but I guess in a way you're looking in the rearview mirror somewhat.
Yeah,
and you're focusing on your DJ career at this point.
Talk to her about that, Alex, while I handle the chat. Okay.
Yeah. So, what do you have going on as far as your DJ career? Are you working with other DJs at this point? And how could people, more importantly, how can people contact you to hire you for gigs?
Yeah, you guys can go to imdjmillhouse.com. I am DJ Millhouse on Instagram, on Twitter. I'm DJ Millhouse everywhere. But yeah, you guys can contact me. All my contact information is there. My email, DMs, of course. But also, I'm in Atlanta, so you'll see me around.
Okay. Any big projects coming? I know you said you're going to Mexico for 30 days.
In Mexico, I have a residency in Mexico. I'll be there for 29 days. Also, I have just a lot of events I do, period, throughout the city, throughout the streets. I have a show I put together. I produced, created it, wrote it, directed it. It's called The Female DJ Cynical Series, where I have 10 female DJs from across the country come to one house to compete to become the title of America's favorite DJ. So I'm working on a couple projects right now. I wrote a children's book about insecurities and how to deal with your insecurities and become confident with who you are and be the best version of you. So I think more so of who DJ Millhouse is always helping other people. So and creating opportunities.
Why that subject matter for children? Insecurities and things of that nature. Why that subject matter? Is that something near and dear to your heart for some reason?
Absolutely. I went through insecurities as a child, as an adult. So it's like, I think we're all human. We all go through insecurities. And I think self-love is important when it comes to developing yourself and to, being at peace with who you are and loving who you are. So I think self-love is very important, very important. So I think a lot of children go, especially with social media these days. Oh my God.
Yeah. People don't get a few likes. They're ready to, do something crazy.
Yeah. And it's not about that. It's a whole nother world out here. It's a whole nother real, like we're real. Everything else is fake.
Right. Exactly. So the thing is as well, is that as you're doing your DJing, right, there's always challenges to everything. So what are some of the hugest challenges you faced in this male dominated industry? What are some of the biggest challenges you faced, and why do you continue to elevate?
I think getting booked for certain gigs and feeling like I want to fit in was a challenge that I faced, because either I'm not sleeping with the man who's booking me, or showing him attention, or just not being in that in crowd. I think I had to create my own opportunities in my own lane, and that's kind of what got me to where I am now, because I always created my own gigs, my own sets, my own parties. Like I'm curating my own opportunities.
And that's what I was getting at. I didn't want to say that, but I'm glad you said it.
Yeah,
because I know women in entertainment, show business, whatever, they lose a lot of opportunities if you're not willing to sleep around. You know what I mean? That's just unfortunate nature of the beast in a male dominated world. But that hasn't stopped you from persevering and elevating. So I definitely applaud you for that and staying true to who you are, other than that. So have you lost any, like a gig that you really wanted, but because you were a woman, they didn't give it to you? You knew it was because you were a woman.
No, I haven't. No, because not that I know of, no. But I feel like what's meant for me is meant for me. Right. So, like what's meant for me is meant for me. I've never gotten upset at not getting a gig because maybe it wasn't for me at that moment. So I thought what's meant for me is meant for me at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, you're definitely breaking barriers. I'll tell you that. Would you like to be married one day, have children, that kind of thing? Okay.
Absolutely. I want a family. I mean, I'm not rushing it. If I don't have kids, I'm okay. If I do, I'm okay. You know, but I definitely do want a partner because at the end of the day, I don't want to be old and trying to, walk on my own and do everything on my own.
Well, you got a long way to go. Oh, you got you got a long way to go.
Yeah, I have a long way to go, but listen, why not start creating these moments and living intentional now?
Yeah. Aubrey, any that
Wait a
more
minute.
mature
Hold on.
wisdom?
Hold on.
Uh-oh. Yeah. There you go.
More
Absolutely.
applause. You're right though, because I mean, you don't have to. There's a balance, I think, for marriage or for partnering. And the thing of it is that even as you're aging, you want to start building something while you're young enough to build together. That's what I think. I think that really works really well if you're intentional about it, and God, the universe so deems it that you have this partner that you meet in time, right?
Yeah.
But I'm sure somebody with a beautiful, light-hearted, but yet intelligent and a fellow sapiosexual like myself, I'm sure that you will find that partner. You may have already, have found him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's awesome. I'm really encouraged that you said that you guys were friends first too. So I think that means a lot.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think that means so much because I've I've yet to date somebody we were actually friends first. It's always of course attraction, and then it goes from there. But this guy right
Hmm.
here, we were clearly friends. We talked about our other dates with other people, like we're friends, completely friends. So
Milan, was you one of them girls in school who, didn't want to talk to the guy who was head of the glee club or the intellectual? You wanted the jock or the guy that hung out in the hallways. Were you that woman?
I was.
You was.
I was.
Okay.
I was. Now I've been that, right? Like
Wait a minute. More applause.
these days, like
Go ahead.
like the rappers, the NBA, the NFL, the this and that. And now it's like, girl, just be date real, okay? Like all the other stuff don't matter.
I found that this more mature age, because I went through that. Obviously, Aubrey has, we all have. You get to this age, you look back.
Wait a minute. Wait. This is a news flash.
What?
Alex, you went through the stage where you were checking out and running down the NBA ballers and the NFL and all that. You went through that stage. When did this happen?
Now you know better than that.
I'm just saying.
You know better than that.
I'm just repeating back what you just said. Cause you said you went through that same stage.
Don't make me ask Milana.
You're still in that stage, Alex. Let's be honest. You're still in that stage.
Don't make me ask Milana about the tattoo.
You still gotta turn around and tie your shoes and look at the big fat. You know what? We
that's an old trick.
We all know that's an old trick. Yeah, we all know you're still doing that. So you haven't changed.
Milan, I told Aubrey when I was, with my ladies when I was younger, I had my main girl or whatever. If a big booty girl walked by, don't be obvious and just turn around. But
you gotta look.
I mean, I would like tie my shoe or something,
You know what? Just stupidity. Just stupidity.
I gotta do something because I gotta look. You know what I mean?
Why?
So
are you not in charge of your own faculties, Alex?
I am. That's why I looked.
Back to Milan.
I'm not messing with Aubrey right now, Milan. She always get me on this stuff. But what was it about those guys though? Because girls in high school, they always go through this. What is it about those kind of guys that's different from Poindexter, the guys as intellectuals? What is it?
I don't know. I guess it's just what's popular, what's trending, and when you're young, it's
right
for what's popular. Like you're not really into depth of what you like and what you don't like. It's just everybody else likes them, so let me like them too.
Right. And everybody else gets stuck. See, what you manage to avoid is children from an early bum.
Facts.
That's what you managed to avoid.
Gosh,
Aubrey, give the applause machine for that she avoided that.
Yeah. Hold on. No, but on a really serious note, guys. No, really seriously, because these kind of things can happen. You are a very intelligent woman, but had it been someone else, some other woman who had fallen for, I I started to say Alex's line, but Otis's Otis's line saying that he basically wasn't with his woman when he in fact was. They could have been Irish twins of a whole different type, Irish twins with two different mothers.
Amen.
And that's happening a lot out here in these streets. That type of stuff happens. So I will ask you. I want one more question before we wrap things up. What did you think about? I mean, and I know you have no say so in it or anything like that. It's just an opinion. But what did you think when you heard Charlana on stage basically saying that they weren't going to get married right now because they were focusing on the baby?
Oh, I didn't even know she said that. But
oh, okay.
And now thinking about it, I guess that's just what they want to do.
Yeah.
I guess that's what they want to do.
And I think it's an indication before we start to wrap up, because me and Aubrey talks about this. There's a lot of photos with Otis and Charlana with the baby bump and this and that, and a lot of pictures with her standing and him sitting. So we're like, what man lets a pregnant woman stand up? So is that an indication of the type of guy that he is?
Listen, you just said it. Like, what man lets that type of woman stand up? Like,
that's kind of heavy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's just, we all know.
Yeah.
This type of man, or is this type of man?
Right. And God bless them as well. Hopefully he'll turn the corner, become a different person. But it's not going to come without a lot of pain. On both of their parts. So, but out of respect for your time, Milan, we thank you so much for coming on. And I'm gonna tell you, everybody that comes on here, we spoke to a lot of your, alumni from other shows, from this show, whatever. I think you're the first from this show.
Yeah, she is.
From this show, we spoke to a lot of
You broke our put a ring on it, cherry.
Right.
I want to say before Alex gets into closing this out, I'm going to drop you back behind stage. Don't leave. I want to ask a favor of you real quick. It won't take but like 2 minutes maybe at the most, okay?
Okay.
Okay, all right. Let me drop you out. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Aubrey.
Wow, that was awesome. I mean, like I said, she broke our put a ring on it cherry, and that was a good thing.
I just think for a young lady her age, 30 years old, she, you come out of them 20s, but that's still very young, 30. I think she's
very young.
I think for her life, she's made some good sound decisions. But as I said, I think the most important thing for her was not to bring children in the world too early or into a bad situation. She's managed not to do that. I think she's going to do great things with her career, and just being true to herself. Just stay true to herself is the best advice I can give her. But I definitely appreciate her for being here.
Yeah, I really did too. And on that note, we're gonna sign out, and we're gonna say our goodbyes. Milan, can you hear me backstage? Okay, nod your head if you can hear me, because I can't hear you. Oh, okay. All right. I'm gonna reach out to you. I got something I want to ask you to do. So just hang tight, okay? I'm coming back for you, okay? All right. Thank you, guys. We appreciate you joining us. On next week, we'll be bringing in Sabrina from Ready to Love for the return, and we'll also be doing a live tomorrow on Love. What is it? Love and Marriage DC, right?
Yes,
Alex?
Love and Marriage DC.
Love and Marriage DC. So, guys, on that note, we're out. Bye.